GTA 6 just got a whole lot better. That's right. Even with everything fans of the franchise already know about it, Rockstar just keeps on giving. As we've mentioned plenty of times here at High Central, they just can't help themselves. Leaving little breadcrumbs here and there, dropping hints and pulling moves that cause a stir for the game. Still, recent developments have had the fan base buzzing. And who are we, if not fans? Let's dive in and see what the latest fuss is all about. The hype train rolls. Everything we know so far about GTA 6 is pointing to it being the most technically ambitious installment of the franchise that any of us have seen thus far. It's gonna be everything that made Red Dead Redemption 2 such an incredibly immersive experience, crammed into the modern settings of GTA and so much more. NPC routines will make the game come alive. Reactive, smart police will create a much more challenging antagonistic force to be contended with. The law, being able to track you down and remember your face and vehicles, will lend itself to discovering different ways of approaching the game's missions. Random free roam events will fill the world with new and interesting interactions that will make replayability a huge factor, as no playthrough will be the same. Adding to that, the hints of different character personalities developing could make different choices available to move the story with multiple endings to explore. Building interiors are going to be littered throughout the game, giving the player plenty of opportunities to explore the world both indoors and outdoors. Not to mention the ability to rob these places. Just don't get caught by the CCTV cameras. A new inventory system that will replace the old magic weapon wheel that will force the player to think carefully about what weapons and tools they want to bring with them. Long-barreled weapons will need to be carried over the shoulder, so you won't exactly be able to walk around downtown with a rifle without turning some heads and attracting attention. A plethora of new consumable items and tools will be available to the player, broadening the things that you will be able to do in the game and offering a multitude of ways to approach the game's challenges. Tools that will make stealing cars and breaking into buildings a lot more in-depth to add a deeper sense of immersion to your criminal career. More expensive cars will be harder to steal than your average beaten-up banger from the rural towns of Florida. Dynamic vehicle interiors are going to make cars in GTA 6 a much more interesting part of the game, rather than being simple transport pods that you throw NPCs out of. Being able to customize them as well will give everyone some added attachment to their favorite cars. All this and so much more, dear viewer. Needless to say, we here at High Central can't wait to get our hands on a copy. The cost of all of this is phenomenal. Rockstar are taking the cost of game development to dizzying new heights, with all this cool new tech being thrown into their game, reportedly costing up to $2 billion to put this masterwork together. This will break the record of the most expensive game ever made, smashing the previous holders out of the park by an insane margin. Current AAA releases have only topped out at the hundreds of millions. Breaching the billion mark will certainly be a first. Breaching it twice is insane. Is all this a good sign? Well, it depends on how you look at it, and how it turns out in the future. The fact that GTA 6 is getting this much investment bodes very well for fans of the franchise. We're going to get something very special indeed. Likely one of the most advanced games that current-gen consoles and PCs can manage, while hopefully not needing a quantum graphics card capable of mining crypto and melting the planet's ice caps. For gamers at large, however, games getting more expensive to make can only mean that they're going to get more expensive to buy. From a consumer standpoint, no one wants to be spending more of their hard-earned cash for their favorite hobby. While studios need to see a return on their investment in order to remain viable, pricing more and more people out of games will only push more players to piracy. As Henry Jenkins once said, quote, "Piracy often reflects market failures on part of producers, rather than moral failures on the part of consumers." In a nutshell, Henry here is saying that when producers fail to properly value their products, or saturate the market with paywalls and lockouts, in other words, the absurd number of streaming sites, they create the demand for piracy. The invisible hand of the market knows no law of man. Will games developers pushing their development costs up be a good thing, or will it only inflate the retail prices of games even more? What do you think, viewer? Let us know in the comments. Rockstar aren't just stopping there. It has currently come to light that Rockstar has bought Cfx.re, the creative team behind the GTA 5 mod and role-playing communities FiveM and RedM. What are those exactly? Well, essentially, what Cfx.re did was allow players of GTA 5 Online and Red Dead Online to play the game on their own dedicated community servers, ones that could allow mods to be run on them, outside of Rockstar's official servers. For lots of players, mods, short for modifications, can enhance the gaming experience. Many developers welcome them, as it can keep the fires of the game burning for a long time. Some of this rider's favorite pastime games have amazing mod communities, and most players don't even play the vanilla games without at least a few. See RimWorld, Project Zomboid, and Kenshi. They have everything from small quality of life mods to the extremely cursed and unhinged ones. Want to smash zombie skulls in while wearing a full leather gimp suit? Zomboid modders have got your back. Of course, some developers aren't too keen on mods of their games. Although having people mod your game should be considered one of the ultimate forms of flattery for a game developer, there are those who will actively punish and subdue keen modders. Some of this may not just be cynical. Official servers run the game as the devs intended it to be played, mainly to avoid cheating and giving other players unfair advantages over others. Games like Squad will have their own servers, but give players the option to look for custom ones, where their favorite mods are running. Some of the more popular ones even got whitelisted. Rockstar, however, didn't allow this at all. So, where there was a demand, Cfx.re stepped in, allowing players and their friends to play GTA 5 Online or Red Dead Online whichever way they wanted, on servers that were completely separated from Rockstar's official ones. All a player needed was an official copy of the game to log into them. It wasn't long ago that Take-Two were taking mods down. It's certainly an interesting move on their part to suddenly turn heel and partner with a community-driven project. Previously, Take-Two Interactive, Rockstar's parent company, were issuing DCMA notices to have mods taken down. A slap in the face to those who develop these mods and the many players that love and use them. The majority of these mods were community-driven developments, where dedicated modders were working on improving, porting, and maintaining older GTA games so that they could be played on PCs and other ports, keeping the franchise alive and scratching everyone's nostalgia itch to replay their favorite games of the series. A lot of this could be attributed to Take-Two releasing remasters of their games, thus making mods that people had put together, a lot of times for free, obsolete. This would force players to buy the remastered versions. A pretty dick move, but hey, they own the IP, and where there's a clear demand that can make some easy money, they're gonna make it. It did come back to bite them in the ass though. Many of these remasters were dragged over the coals for being graphically messy and full of bugs. It just goes to show that the dedication of modders that made these games playable long after Rockstar had moved on was infinitely better than the hot mess churned out to make quick cash. The partnership with Cfx.re can only mean good things. Taking this step to work with, rather than alienate a pillar of the online community surrounding their games, can only mean good things. The people that make these things possible only do it because they love the games and want to see them thrive, improving upon the experience for all players. This could mean that dedicated mod servers will now be an official extension of the game. If you and your friends want to play the game your way, you can. The experience will be much more fluid, allowing for more support and more extensions of the game. There could also be more microtransactions, but as long as they're cosmetic, optional, and don't foster a pay-to-win strategy, then there can hardly be any complaints here. The real selling point here is that Rockstar have officially announced the ending of updates for Red Dead Online. It's also obvious that GTA 5 Online will be coming to an end soon, as GTA 6 will likely take over. As Cfx.re is mainly supporting those two online modes, it makes sense that Rockstar wants to bring them on board now, when those mods are coming to the end of their life cycle. Whatever Cfx.re is going to be doing for GTA 6, we can rest assured that it should be ready to go on the game's release. It could be a full-on role-playing server with its own main story that could develop over time. An online 6M community is an official part of the base game that will feature official updates and seasonal content releases. From a consumer point of view, the benefits are tenfold. We'll have the developers of a popular and widely used tool now working within the development of the game rather than outside of it after the initial release. They'll be able to get their work out at a polished, high-quality standard much faster when they're working with Rockstar. We, the consumers, can expect to enjoy a lot more content, all tied together in one package. We'll have the ability to enjoy different experiences within the game, extending playability and giving us all the chance to play the game that we want to play. For Rockstar, the benefits speak for themselves. By bringing in community developers, Rockstar have opened the door to welcome community-driven projects and mods. If they really are banking on the longevity of the game, then this is the way to do it. Modders from all over the community will have their own ideas, and with more players being able to enjoy them, they will flourish. Content will be added and created even without Rockstar's input. Of course, all this new content being packed out into the game is going to keep players playing for years. This is going to make Rockstar a nice big wad of cash. If you enjoyed this video and love all things Rockstar and GTA, consider a like and subscribe, and you will receive all the latest on GTA 6 developments, right as we get to them. There are bound to be more the closer we get to its eventual release. The AI masters of the algorithm know exactly who you are, who you work for, and what you want from them. They will feed you all the content you desire. What are you waiting for? Give in to their wisdom.